Okay, so a couple special cases that relate to letter of interest in some way. One is the residency cover letter. A residency cover letter is a cover letter because it is a solicited letter, but I think it most resembles the outline that I just gave to you for the letter of interest. And that's because you are selling yourself as an artist when you're writing a letter of interest or when you're applying for a residency. So you're going to be including the same sort of information. So an introduction, and I believe, yeah, this is a real letter, not a made up one. So there's the introduction. The professional history is the second paragraph, just like the letter of interest outline. The third is the artist statement material. And then the fourth is the conclusion. So it would be very similar to that. Yeah. And then the second special case is another type of unsolicited letter, which is the author query letter. And this is if you're writing to a literary agent in the hopes of getting representation in order to get something published through a particular publisher. We're not going to go in too much into depth because I don't even know if there's any authors here, but it's the introduction will be a very similar three-part structure to what we've seen in the letter of interest, but you want to make sure to address it to a particular literary agent and then mention that literary agent and why you're writing to them. Whether it's because you've talked to them before, maybe they reached out to you, maybe they work particularly in novels, representing novels like yours, whatever it is. And this first paragraph needs to include the title of the work, the genre, and the word count. So make sure that you put that in there because that's important in their decision whether or not to take you on. So here's an example, and I colored it like that three-part of the letter of interest. So I'm seeking representation for Sure Signs of Crazy, 72,000 words, the follow-up to my first published novel, Janeology, which received excellent reviews, and this is a real one, by the way, excellent reviews from such publications as Booklist, who called it fascinating. I think this story might appeal to you because it explores themes about the lifelong repercussions of parents' actions. So here they're relating it to the publisher, to the agent. Like Kim Edwards, The Memory Keeper's Daughter. That's a good move to make, especially if you're a new author that's generally unknown, to refer to a really well-known book so that they can sort of very easily like, oh, okay, that's the type of stuff you're doing. Only this story asks what would happen if you lost your mother and had to grow up without her. So short and sweet there. And then your second paragraph is going to give a summary of the plot. Third paragraph, summary of you, your background, and your accomplishments. And then the fourth paragraph will be your conclusion and thanks paragraph. All right, oops. Okay, so a couple other things for the query letter. Besides the agent, which I already mentioned, you need to mention if your book has already been edited because they do like to have clean copies. So that's always a perk if you've already gone through that process.